Prakriti, Prakriti has not a conscious, but Jiva and Ishwar has conscious. These things we discuss elaborately. Yes.
Yes. What else? Prakriti is not conscious. Jiva is conscious. Ishvara is conscious. What about time? Time is conscious or not?
So,
There's nothing such description about time. It is just to used as a, like a measurement, and it's a form of. It's also the expansion. It is said it's a wish of the Lord in Bhagavatam. Inexplicable wish of the Lord is a kala. So kala, it brings everything to degradation. That is a wish of the Lord. 1 minute actually. ठीक है. Yes, anyone else like to share? ठीक है, एक मिनट, let me open. Okay, so now we'll see that. So we have discussed till this point. Just this very short revision we'll do. Why one more commentary? Because all other commentaries were interpreted with a materialistic understanding. They wanted to glorify themselves, or some demonic proposal were also there. They wanted to put their own interpretation and theories, where Krishna is outside Krishna and inside Krishna is different. So such kind of interpretation were there. Why new disciplic succession? Because old one was broken, again because of unscrupulous people coming in between and then becoming you can say some guru, some disciples. So therefore it was broken. And Arjuna was chosen because Arjuna was quite uh, he was a very qualified student of Krishna, as well as means friend, first as a friend and later he became a student. Here Prabhupada mentions basically that he was direct in relationship with the Lord, and he accepted Krishna as a supreme Lord according to scriptures, according to saintly people verdicts. So he accepted Krishna as a supreme Lord, and he was also not envious of Krishna. He was a devotee and direct student of Krishna, intimate friend. Why a great mystery? Because it can only be understood through a spirit of devotion. There is no other way. What is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Purpose of Gita is to deliver the mankind from the nescience of material existence. And who is a proper student? Who has a inquiry about suffering in this world, about his own existence, about existence of the Supreme Lord, and material nature. He wants to know why so much suffering or how this world has been created. So all such inquiries should come into the mind of an inquisitive student, and he is a proper person or proper student. Was Arjuna ignorant and deluded? So no, he was associate of the Lord. By the Lord's plan, he was put into ignorance so that Gita will be spoken for for the benefit of all of us. And Prabhupada says that Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generation of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. So what would be the plan of life? Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. How one should be keeping plan of life. People have so many plans for business, for for their future growth, materialistic growth. So then Krishna said, what should be your actual plan? And then five basic subject of Bhagavad Gita are Ishwar, Prakriti, Jeev, Kal, Karma. So this we discussed in elaborate way. So Ishwar is a supreme conscious being who controls over material nature and living entities. Prakriti made up of three modes. She is also controlled. So Jiva and Prakriti both are controlled by the Ishvara. Ishwar itself means he is a controller and is a supreme conscious controller. And Jiva means superior conscious. He is not inferior energy, he is a superior energy, and so he is a conscious, superior conscious being made up of a spiritual nature. Kala means the duration of existence of the whole universe or the manifestation of material nature. How long material nature manifests? Like this, a cyclic. Karma means in every field of life we enjoy the result of our work and we suffer. Karma basically any activity done under the purview of time and modes, that becomes karma. And so one has to enjoy or suffer. Then Prabhupada ji explains about Supreme Lord is a person. And so his absolute truth personality can be seen in three ways. Like first is the Brahman. Brahman is almost like impersonal. And then Paramatma shows more personality and Bhagwan shows the complete personality. So like that. So Bhagwan is Satchidananda Vigraha and Paramatma is Satchit, and Brahman, impersonal Brahma is only Sat, feature of the absolute truth. So Lord cannot be impersonal. So Lord, see, a Lord has impersonality also in himself and personality both. So Lord is impersonal and personal both. If somebody says Lord is not personal, then we prove that he is a personal. If somebody says Lord is not impersonal, then also it can be proved because he has such feature. So he is impersonal also and personal also, both. So nothing lacks in him. So material world is also complete. So we saw that how, yes, according to Sankhya, it is complete. 24 elements. Nothing is required from outside to complete it. Now the Vedic knowledge, the next thing Prabhupada discussed about the Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. It is it has to be received from transcendental source. Okay, it is already coming from transcendental source and it has to be also received from transcendental source or Guru Sishya Parampara. So it is called Apaurasya. The source is called Apaurasya. So the Lord himself spoke Vedic literature, so he is called Apaurasya. So the Vedic knowledge is Apaurasya. The source of Vedic knowledge is Apaurasya. So therefore there are no defect in Vedic knowledge. Example which can be contradictory to human sense. Cow dung is a stool of animal, but again it is a purifying agent. Somebody can say, I have not done any research about it. So then the Vedas say, no need to do any research. Your senses are defective. You may not be able to know also, or you may be able to know, that is your positive point. But even if you cannot know, you should know first that Vedas are aporasya. They are spoken by a person without defect. To accept it. And again, another is conch. We know conch, the bone of an animal. It is kept in DT room. So so in that way, so Vedas are giving their authenticity themselves. That when we say something is like that, and you cannot prove it through your senses, and that is pure already. We are saying. So therefore, you understand that everything what we say you cannot prove and then accept. Just accept what we say and then apply in your life and you'll be perfect. So Vedas, they are top to down. Means the knowledge given from top to down. So when a father gives something to a child does not question, father, are you giving me poison or are you giving me food? Child cannot ask because father can never give poison. Yes, but if some outside stranger person is giving something, then a child can question or he can check with his mother or father what he is giving, shall I take or not. So Vedas are like our mother. So mother and God is father. So mother will not give anything poisonous to her child. So like that. And she will teach about the father, God. So and then later Srila Prabhupada says in 11th chapter, this concept that quota, which we have all of you have read in Ishopanishad, everyone should take his own quota for maintenance because everything is owned and controlled, and also division is done by that Supreme Lord, how much quota you should be taking. So Isha Vashamidam Sarvam. So therefore, following Isha Vasya principle, Lord is Prapitamaha. Pitama is Brahma. And who is the father of Brahma? Lord himself. So therefore, even though he is a creator, this Brahma is a secondary creator and primary creator is a Lord Vishnu. Sarga Visarga. So Sarga is a creation, primary, and Visarga means secondary creation, which is done by Brahma. So therefore, no one should claim to be proprietor of anything. Even we don't have any relationship with the Brahma. How we, if we claim that okay, I don't have any relationship with the Lord Krishna, I don't know him. So even that also taken, you cannot say you have a relationship with the Brahma. So therefore, everything belongs to either Brahma or Krishna. So then we cannot claim any proprietorship. So better to follow the Vedic literature. It is mentioned. Bhagavad was spoken by the Lord just to change the bodily conception of Arjuna, because Arjuna did not want to fight. So what is the quota here? Basically, follow the will of the Lord. Not in terms of only eating and procuring some material objects, but following the will of the Lord in our actions, in our words, in our thought process. So like that, kaya mansa vacha. So these quotas are there actually, instructions of the Lord. Now the next is Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan Lord, Sanatan living entities, and Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan Dham and Yad Dharma. Okay, these are four items. So Sanatan Dharma does not refer to any sectarian process of religion. It is eternal function of eternal living entities in relationship with the eternal Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada mentions it in his introduction, this thing. So Sripad Ramanucharya has given a meaning of Sanatan. What is the meaning of Sanatan? Which has neither beginning nor end. That is the meaning of Sanatan. So that's why when the word Sanatan comes in front of Dham or the Lord or Jiva or Dharma, so then that does not become sectarian. So Sanatan Dharma means it is not a monopoly of Hindus. It's not a monopoly of any country. Sanatan means it's coming from before creation. Nobody knew when the creation came. So before creation it's there. It's eternal religion. And therefore its eternal religion must be followed by eternal being, that is a jiva. So Sanatan Dharma cannot be put into the like prejudice of someone or some Hindus. No, okay, this is the way the dharma should be followed. No, how it has to be followed, given in the scripture and told by Guru. So therefore, it has to be taken in proper way. So Sanatan Dharma, which has neither beginning nor end. Now, what is Sanatan Dharma of living being? Sanatan Dharma of the living being is that which he cannot remove from his existence. Like we'll read from here directly. The Supreme Lord and his transcendental abode are both Sanatan, as are the living entities. Combined and the combined association of Supreme Lord and the living entity in the Sanatan abode is the perfection of human life. The Lord is very kind to living entities because they are his sons. Sarva Yoneshu Kaunteya Aham Birja Pradapita. I am the father of all. Of course, there are all types of living entities according to their various karmas. But here the Lord claims that He is the father of all. Therefore, the Lord descends to reclaim all of these fallen conditioned souls to call them back to the Sanatan eternal sky, so the Sanatan living entities may regain their eternal Sanatan position in eternal association with the Lord. The Lord comes himself in a different incarnation, or he sends his confidential servants as sons or his associates or acharyas to reclaim the conditioned soul. Therefore, Sanatan Dharma does not refer to any sectarian process of religion. It is eternal function of the eternal living entities in relationship with the eternal Lord. Sanatan Dharma refers, as stated previously, to the eternal occupation of living entities. Okay. Sripad Ramanujarya has explained the word Sanatan, that which has neither beginning nor end. So when we speak of Sanatan Dharma, we must take it granted on the authority of Sripad Ramanujarya that it has neither beginning nor end. Now Prabhupada talks about religion. Religion conveys the idea of a faith. A faith may change. One may have faith in particular process and he may change this faith and adopt another. But Sanatan Dharma refers to the activity which cannot be changed. For instance, liquidity cannot be taken from water, nor heat can be taken from fire. Similarly, the eternal function of living entity cannot be taken from the living entity. Sanatan Dharma is eternal, integral with the living entity. When we speak of Sanatan Dharma, therefore we must take it granted on the authority of Srimad Ramanujarya, and it has neither beginning nor end. That which, okay. Okay. So now we understood that Sanatan Dharma is not a sectarian, and it has no beginning nor end, and it's a occupational eternal function of living entity, that is to service of the Lord. Okay, what is this?
Bhakti.
So the politician present his manifesto for public to convince of his capacity for service. Okay, before reading this, let us read this one. What does it say about Sanatan Dharma? Yet man professed to belong a particular type of faith with reference to a particular time and circumstances, and thus claim to be Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or adherent of any other sect. Such designations are non-Sanatan Dharma. So what are non-Sanatan Dharma? Somebody saying, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am Christian. This is non-Sanatan. A Hindu may change his faith to become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change his faith to become a Hindu, or a Christian may change his faith to faith, and so on. But in all circumstances, the change of religious faith does not affect the eternal occupation of rendering service to others. Hindu, Muslim, or Christians in all circumstances servant of someone. Thus, to profess a particular type of faith is not to profess one's Sanatan Dharma. So, if somebody is saying this is the way I do some religion or religious work, it's not that what he's saying can be taken as Sanatan Dharma. So he has certain faiths, other person has certain faith. Okay, the rendering of service is Sanatan Dharma. This is called the rendering of service. Prabhupada is saying either you are Muslim, Christian, anyone, we are rendering service. Factually, we are related to Supreme Lord in all, Supreme Lord in service. The Supreme Lord is Supreme Enjoyer, and we are His servitors. We are created for His enjoyment, and if we participate in that eternal enjoyment with Supreme Personality of Godhead, we become happy. We cannot become happy otherwise. It is not possible to be happy independently. Just as no part of the body can be happy without cooperating with the stomach. It is not possible for living entity to be happy without rendering transcendental loving service unto the Supreme Lord. So the politician present his manifesto for the public to convince them of his capacity for service. The voters therefore give the politician the valuable votes, thinking that he will render valuable service to society. The shopkeeper serves the customer, the artisan serves the capitalist serves the family serves the state in terms of the eternal capacity of eternal living being. Okay. In this way, we can see that no living being exempt from rendering service. So, okay. So as Prabhupada said first, the service aspect is common to Christians, Muslims, everyone. Their faith may change. They may be like one person is serving his father. So one person, then father is also serving the son. The service quality may be different, like a superior quality, like a superior person. A teacher has to teach the child. So the teacher is also serving a child, and a child is learning from teacher. So he is doing some menial service for teachers, some gathering something, giving to teacher, whatever teacher, beta just pani leke aa jao, so like that. So it means he is also serving. He is obedient to the teacher. So both are doing service to each other. The quality of service, or you can say the kind of service, will maybe different, but both are rendering service. So here also the faith may be different in people, but the function of living entity is to serve. And that's why all of us are, and why the service happens, that also has to be understood. The service happen, it can happen in two way. Either somebody dependent on the other person for something, or service can be rendered out of love. The two things can be there. And even in love also dependence comes. So we in this material world, any two person, when he is rendering service, any two person, he or she, so then they are dependent, you find. Like prime minister, when he is rendering some service to the citizen of India, he is also dependent on citizen. So the citizen should follow what I say. Yes, they should give vote to me. And when citizens are serving the prime minister, the superior, so they are naturally dependent. When it comes to Supreme Lord and us, Lord is Swarat. Lord is not dependent on us, but we are dependent. We need air. Right now also we need air, water, all Prakriti's element we need to maintain our body. When you go to spiritual sky also, we need all the spiritual assets for us ourselves to live, relationship, home, everything. Correct? So therefore we are dependent, but Lord is independent. So how Lord likes to serve his devotees? Out of love. He wants to exchange love. He is not dependent upon us, but he wants to exchange love with us. But we are dependent upon him. Without him we cannot live, but he can live without us. That is the whole understanding. He can live without us, but we cannot live without him. So we are part and parcel of him. We cannot be independent of him, but he can be independent. Independent means in the sense he can. We are never disconnected from him, but he can even not look towards us. So he is not going to lose anything, but we will lose in the sense we are losing our connection with him, and we will become non-Krishna conscious. But when he is not looking, he always remain Krishna conscious, because nothing is extraneous from him. Everything is inside him. Everything is, he is everything. He is a Swarat. So like this. So this proper position has to be understood. Then we are going to, okay, there is something else. No. Now, worship of demigods and Sanatan Dharma. So we know that if somebody worships demigod, he goes to demigod loka. So what is that? Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitrvata. So yanti deva vrata devan. So dev vrata, those who are worshipper of devas, they go to devloka after worshipping them. But Krishna says, then yanti madhyajino apimam. Those who worship me, madhyaji, api yanti, they go where? Mam, they come to me. So yanti madhyaji apimam. So those who worship me, they come to me. So there are two destination after worship. So if we worship demigod, we go to demigod lok, which is a temporary in this world, and those who worship Supreme Lord, he goes out of this material world to Sanatan Dham. So that aspect is also mentioned in the introduction. That it's very very important to be mentioned, because otherwise in India, when when you explain about Sanatan Dharma, then people, I'm in Sanatan Dharma, I'm worshipping some gods. Hmm? So even when you consider, see, what do you mean by Sanatan Dharma? Is it only Bhagavad Gita is speaking Sanatan Dharma? What Vedas are speaking, is it not Sanatan Dharma? Hmm? So Vedas are speaking many times demigod worship. So is it Sanatan Dharma of a living entity? Hmm? So Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, is it a Sanatan Dharma? Hmm? So very clearly it is mentioned that Sanatan Dharma means which is eternal Dharma. Now to attain that Sanatan Dharma, the Vedas may provide some path. You worship demigods, then you develop faith in the demigod, and who is the Deva of all Deva, Mahadev, and then who is even above him, then Lord Vishnu. So like that, the Vedas can elevate the faith of people slowly, slowly. Like in Bhagavad Gita, we find here, like Krishna is mentioning Niskam Karma Yoga, then it goes to Jnana Yoga, and then Ashtanga Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So it's a ladder of yoga. So then Krishna is elevating a person slowly, slowly. But what is a Sanatan Dharma? Because in all these yogas, we have to give up the previous yoga. Like if somebody wants to go to Jnana Yoga, he has to give up Karma Yoga. Somebody wants to go to Ashtanga, he has to give up Jnana Yoga. It means the process itself is not eternal. So that is why, but Bhakti one cannot give up. Bhakti one cannot give up from beginning till end and throughout. So therefore, only thing Sanatan is Bhakti, and all other things are to attain that Sanatan Dharma. So in this way we should understand. So worship of demigod, when they are given in Vedic literature, it does not say that it is Sanatan Dharma. No. It is a part of Sanatan Dharma which is helping us to attain Sanatan Dharma. Like somebody is a worshipper of Shiva, after some time he becomes Krishna devotee. So his faith changes. But after becoming Krishna devotee, he understands that I am not his body, I am soul. So he catches the eternal religious principle. Now he cannot say, now I will again go back to some Devi worship. So then again going back to Devi worship means what will happen? Then he will go to then material dharma. Because Krishna says, who worships the demigod, he clearly mentions in Bhagavad Gita that those who have materialistic desires, they worship the demigods. Yes, what is the question? Kamasya hita jnana prapadante anna devata. Yes, Prabhu.
Mute Prabhuji.
Ah, you have some question?
Yes, yes. Not able to unmute.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible now. Yes.
Audible now?
Audible.
Okay. So, Prabhuji, one question is regarding this. When we say that different paths are there and they are helping us to go to the Sanatan Dharma.
Hmm.
So, when we read Ishupnishad, like Prabhupada very clearly mentioned that someone has taken ticket for Mumbai, he cannot go to Calcutta. He can go to Delhi. So, the
Hmm.
place. So, this is like, is it like saying the same thing that all paths lead to the same goal? That taking to different demigod worship or like gradually path is increasing, faith is increasing.
Hmm.
So is it not like all paths lead to the same goal? That's the first question.
See, worships of demigod
Hmm.
is for material benefit. One thing.
Hmm.
So it is mentioned in 11th canto also, that or many other places, that we cannot criticize the Vedas just because they are not giving a direct path. Then acharyas, they say, scripture also they say that Vedas, if you see properly, they want to bring vairagya in the living entity. There are two paths: pravritti nivritti marg. Okay, pravritti marg means continuation of cycle of birth and death. Nivritti marg means path of liberation. So Vedas, they provide these both margas, pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti means you have certain desire, worship demigod, go to his loka, enjoy, again chinna punya martalokam vishanti, again come back. Again you have certain desire. So then at certain point you start thinking what I'm doing actually. All the time I'm sometime going up, sometime here, there. And all these demigods are also suffering many times by offenses, many times by some demons. So then he will inquire about the more higher truth that becomes
Yes.
Gyan Kanda. Gyan Kanda. So it is not like directly linking, but it is impetus for the next path.
Right. The purpose of having these different processes is also like person may ask sometime that I want to go to my actual destination.
Ah,
Why
yes.
I'm just keep on sitting in the train for so much time when I'm going to reach my destination.
Correct, correct. It's like that only. So it's like that. So first to bring a living entity is to have faith in some authority that are demigods. So from animal life to first one has to come to karma kanda level. Animal life means no faith. Karma kanda means you want something, you worship this demigod, you will get some benefit. Oh, really? This god will give me? Yes, this god will give you. You worship now. So then some yagya, some worship will happen. And when he will get something, he will become his devotee. And then he will think, I want to go to that loka where he's enjoying all such things. So then he will go to his loka also. So therefore, then Vedas does not end with that. Now he goes to another loka. Again, the Vedas are functional. Again, he will follow the Vedas next life because he has developed some faith. Next life again, that because of that Shraddha will be there in worshipping some gods. So again, he will start continuing those Shraddha slowly, slowly. It will grow. So the Vedas also, they are giving indirect path, but they are keeping the continuation basically that yes, this
Yeah.
living entity has to get out of this world slowly. Let his faith become more and more stronger in religious, from religious to transcendental process. From religious to
It's a slower way, but it's also actually a
yes,
way.
yes,
Like,
yes, yes,
and to the second question, that when you said that it's a yoga ladder where someone has to give up the first level and then has to go to the next.
mm,
So one leaves the karma yoga and then moves to jnana yoga. Okay.
mm.
So then person actually advances, like he moves up the ladder. So is it not like a Mayavadi, like saying that uh, we reject the previous thing and then we take the next, like higher? And also, are we not saying that with this perspective, are we not saying that devotees need not to follow Varnashram Dharma, they need not to follow Karma Yoga, nothing, because they have taken to the highest, that is the Bhakti Yoga. So they have to give up all, they have to give up Varnashram, they have to give up Bhakti Yoga. So how do we understand this thing?
This will
That
discuss. This will discuss more thoroughly, more in detail when we'll go through this yoga ladder. Okay. In brief, I will just tell here. It's nothing like that. Bhagavad Gita basically talks about the two things. One thing is what Arjuna has in his mind, the confusion comes in. Arjuna is always confused. In third chapter also is confused. Eh? And in fifth chapter also is confused. Because Krishna is trying to make him understand this thing only. Ki Arjuna, I am telling you not to give up your work, just give up your enjoying tendency. And even if when you give up your enjoying tendency and not the work, you will get the result of karma and jnana yoga both. Don't worry about it. But in other traditional process, one has to give up the karma and then go to jnana yoga. But Krishna is saying, I am not telling you to do that. Because when you go to jnana yoga, the first prerequisite is sannyas. You have to take sannyas, then only you can be jnana yogi. But he is saying, if I'm taking sannyas, then how can you tell me to fight? Because Krishna is confusing. When Krishna is telling in second chapter so many things, Gyan Yoga, Karma, all is mixing. So Arjuna is telling in third chapter, what is this? Eh? You are telling me to do everything one simultaneously. If a Gyan Yogi, I have to become a Gyan Yogi, then how can I fight? Because Arjuna had traditional mindset. But Krishna is telling, I am telling to do bhakti. So I am transferring you into both the yoga. A result you will get from both the yoga. Don't worry about it. So Krishna is very, he does not want to confuse him, but he is making a very revolutionary thing here. He is telling you just because Krishna's instruction does not complete there only. He also mentions that you remember me. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. You means you remember me, you see me as everything, and in that remembrance you become free from all reactions of your work. And then you fight. Do your duty as an offering to me. Okay. So when you do your duty as an offering to Krishna, you love Krishna. So then that completes your karma yoga, jnana yoga, and it also comes in bhakti yoga. All. So Krishna is training Arjuna in that way. But he's
Not
also,
to give beauty, but to give the enjoyment attached to it.
yes, yes. So like that. So Niskam Karma Yoga is the same thing. Basically, Niskam Karma Yoga. Okay, it should be again unfolded here or later. Niskam Karma Yoga means you don't become attached to result of your work, but you do your duty. That is Niskam Karma Yoga. And when it goes to Gyan Yoga means give up the work also. No result, no work. But then Arjuna questions, if you are telling Gyan Yoga, then let me give up the work and go for sannyas. Then Krishna says, no. I never say that do that. Gyan Yogi is non-attached to result, but this giving up work, I should not mention to you. You should follow your work. Do your duty, but don't become attached to result. And offer the result to me. And in devotion. So like that you will achieve the liberation. So whole path is like that actually. So it's a revolutionary thing Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita, because when you start understanding from traditional sense, and many people like to do that, therefore they become confused. Sometimes Krishna say follow this, sometimes say follow this, and Arjuna is getting confused in third chapter and fifth chapter. Dono baar confuse hai Arjuna. Therefore he is asking the same question in third chapter beginning, and almost same question in fifth chapter. So like that, and even to that extent, Krishna explains even Ashtanga Yoga. Now this is another confusion. Krishna again adds one more thing, Ashtanga Yoga, and he says in between of chapters only, Arjuna, I cannot follow this yoga. In between of chapters only he says. So then why is telling actually? So one thing is Krishna also wants to complete the course. कल को बोला बाबा कर्मयोग बताया, ज्ञान योग बताया, अष्टांग योग बताया कि नहीं गए कृष्णा. तो कृष्णा wants to complete the course also. So it's like that actually. But but the Gita is more understood when it goes beyond 6 chapters and ahead, because there Krishna started revealing the 7 to 12 is bhakti part. He started telling about the bhakti. So then the whole purpose of worshipping Lord or doing karma is understood that I have to meditate upon Supreme. So first 6 chapter more about focus like karma and reaction. After that bhakti, everything culminates in Krishna only. And then next again 6 chapter Gyan Yoga, more worried about the nature of the world, the nature of the if I'm giving some charity, in which mode I am giving charity, passion, ignorance, किस mode में मैं हूँ, किस देवता को worship कर रहा हूँ, which mode वाला, I mean modes, lot of worrying about modes. These Gyanis, they have lot of neti, not this way, that way, not. So like that. So, but bhakti is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, as we saw in Prabhupada's here introduction. You cannot understand Gita without bhakti. Spirit of devotion is required. Okay, we'll go ahead. So here, demigod worship. Lord Krishna even discouraged his father Nanda Maharaj from worshipping the demigod Indra, because he wanted to establish the fact that people need not worship any demigod. See, one very important thing, whenever we learn such truth, many times we may offend demigods, but offense to demigod is not the lesson here. We have to respect demigod but not worship demigod. There's a difference between respect and worship. We have to respect demigod but not worship demigod. What do you mean by respect and worship? Respect means whenever you go to temple of demigods, you have to offer obeisances to them, understanding they are Deva Angaja. They are the part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Not only that, they are also administrative heads of many departments in material nature. Some are head of air department, water department, sunlight department. So because of their mercy, we are getting our basic necessity fulfilled. So we have to be grateful to them. They are also devotees. So, but they are not pure devotees. Some of them are pure devotees like Ganesha and Lord Shiva. They are pure devotees. Uh, but not all devatas are pure devotees. They are mixed devotees. So then, when we approach them, when we offer obeisances to them, like when we go in the yatra, sometime we go to some demigods. In Vedic tradition, wherever there is Vishnu temple, there will be some Devi temple, there will be some Kartikeya or some Indras. All these temples, you may find it actually because of certain leela has happened there. Some uh, some demigods temple. So that time when we go to such temple, we ask them, please help me advance in my spiritual Krishna consciousness, or develop devotion for Lord Sri Krishna. Like when Srila Prabhupada used to invite the sages to his house, he used to always ask them, please bless my Abhay to become devotee of Srimati Radharani. So his goal was very fixed, that I want to make him devotee of Radharani. In the similar way, our goals should be fixed. I want to become devotee of Srimati Radharani or Krishna. So whenever you go to demigod, please help me remove my obstacles so that I can become good devotee of Krishna. So this should be our aspiration and prayer. But it does not mean now you start taking one big list of prayers of demigods and then start reciting all these, I mean, Om Jai Jagadish, and then putting all the agarbatti and nariyal, everything, and then you're worshipping demigod. Please help me to become devotee of Krishna. Please help me to become devotee of Krishna. That becomes the worship actually. That is not recommended. But sometimes it happens for the householders. You have to go to your home and your in-laws are worshipping and they are not fully devotee. Then at that time, what to do? So shall we participate in that worship or not? If then you have to see the situation, if it will be offense to them, if they feel that because they have become devotees, they are not helping us, or they are totally cut out from family. So then you be there, and if they say worship, also you worship. But in your mind, you should always think that I am basically worshipping Krishna only. I'm trying to worship Krishna because they are all part and parcel of Krishna. We can picturize in our mind some form of Krishna and we can like that, no problem. The whole understanding is we are worshippers of Krishna and we are very clever how to worship Krishna. So so we should be very clear, we should not eat any food offered to demigods. This is again is spoken in scriptures. We cannot eat food offered to demigods. Those who want to follow the path of sincerely follow the path of this Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So Krishna discourages. Even the 7th chapter in Bhagavad Gita is full discouragement for demigods. Worship. Krishna just left, right. अच्छा भगवान तोड़ते हैं उसमें. So, and Prabhupada in many lectures he has heavily spoken. Recently, I was giving lecture. So then the demigod worship, many questions were coming. Panchupasna. Shall we follow in ISKCON? How can you follow in ISKCON Panchupasna? It's given by Sankaracharya, and even it may be some Vedic relation, but Panchupasna is not used. Why we should do Panchupasna? We have a biggest Upasana. उसके लिए समय नहीं मिल रहा हमको. जिसको उपासना करना है माला घुमाओ, बहुत माला घुमाने को है. So much chanting we have to do, so much reading we have to do, so much service we have to do. Why we have to do Panchupasna? There is no use of doing Panchupasna. Those who are not very clear about Gaudiya Vaishnava Tattva, they will do all such additions actually. So okay, to reach to demigod, one needs to worship them. So Prabhupada says here, Yanti Devrata Devan. So this is a right formula to go to demigod, and what our scientists they are doing, that is not recommended actually, because you cannot go like Trishanku. The story of Trishanku comes in Ramayana. The Trishanku was born in Ikshvaku dynasty, and then his son was Harishchandra. So Trishanku was very much attached to his body, very handsome. So always used to see in mirror, how handsome I am. And then he thought that I want to maintain this body till lifelong, and I don't want to get this body should not be degraded. So where I can go and enjoy my body and opulence? So then he thought I should go to Swarga, where people live for 10,000 years. Here in earthly planet, they may live for 1,000 or some more years, but the pleasure is not that much. So then he thought how to go to Swarga. He went to Vasisht Muni and told, he just explained his desire. So Vasisht Muni became very angry. Arey, such a, you can say, third class desire you have. You're so much attached to this perishable body. Go away from here. Without performing any agya, how can you go to Indralok in this body? You have to change the body, then only you can go. So Tinsangu thought, Arey, he's a very old man. Uh, and old people cannot be told anything new. So they cannot hear. So he cannot bend. Okay, leave him. Let me go to his sons. So he went to his sons, Vasisht Muni's sons. And Vasisht Muni has ostracized his sons because he was unhappy with his sons. So he rejected his sons. But he then went, let me ask them. So his sons also said, even though our father has rejected us, how can we reject his knowledge with which he is saying that he will not send you? So how can we send you? And they cursed him that you become Chandala. And that time he became Chandala. He became very ugly looking person. Then he went to, they also did not agree. Then he went to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, because of his problem with the Vasisht Muni, he took everything in ego and he started sending him into the upper loka. So then, even then Trishanku was going up, and Indra then, with the power of thunderbolt, he put the power on him, and then Trishanku, first he was going like this, and he became upside down because of Indra's power, and he was coming upside down to the earth. Again, Vishwamitra sent him up, then he was going like up. Again he sent him down. So like that he was going up and down. At last Vishwamitra Muni, he thought, I have to do something because I have given promise. So then he made Trishanku Swarga. And in that Trishanku Swarga, he put this Trishanku there. But the Swarga started falling down because all the tapobal of the Vishwamitra got finished. And then he shouted, Lord Vishnu, Vishnu, save me, save me. Then Lord Vishnu appeared and he told, see, this is a new planet you have created without my order, but I will maintain this planet because I am the maintainer of all the planets. But henceforth don't create any such planet. And then, but this Trishanku will remain upside down only. So in Trishanku Loka, it's a Swarga Loka only. There is some replica of Indra, other demigods. And this Trishanku also lives there. So see, so much hardship he has to go through, and even Lord Vishnu had to come to adjust one person, Trishanku. So it's not possible actually to go to heavenly planets in the same body. Until that, Trishanku is lamenting about his fortune in that Trishanku lok because he's upside down there and he's thinking what I had done, kya kar diya maine, aisa. So nobody can go in this body to heavenly planet. It's not possible actually. Even though the people of today, they may claim that they have gone, because these people are totally, you can say, proposed. Okay, that word will not use. Totally foolish person, moodhas. These are so moodhas, you cannot believe. These modern science is nothing but a bunch of atheistic propaganda meant for future hellish life. It is simply a bunch of atheistic propaganda, nothing else. And it is creating a nice hellish life for all people, those who follow this modern science actually. Because in many cases they prove living entities that there is no God, no supreme controller, and we are only the lords of this world, the Lord of all we survey. There is no knowledge of demigods, and these people are going to the loka of demigod. This is so ridiculous actually. You are going to loka of demigod without knowledge of demigods. What is this? When you want to create mobile, you know everything about it. Silicon chips mein kya hai. When you go to demigod look, there is no knowledge, and then you're going to their loka, moon. This is फालतू का चीज है. And people are clapping for them. Okay, whatever, let it be. So yes, so we cannot reach to the demigod loka like that. So we have to worship the demigods to go to their loka, because demigod should also receive us. We want to go to home of somebody, and he has not known only that we are coming. And it's not that we are such a great personality, he will again call some mridanga and kartal and put some garland and welcome us. He will kick us with his boot. Go away. He has never called you. So like that. So Padam Avyayam, eternal kingdom can be reached by the Nirman Moha. So this also Prabhupada mentions. So this is about Sanatan Dham. So okay, demigod loka, how to go? By worshipping. How to go to eternal abode? That is also mentioned in 15th chapter. Yes, so it is mentioned here. Where after designation, someone wants to be Lord, someone wants to become the president, or a rich man, or a king, something else. As long as we are attached to designation, we are attached to this body, because designation belongs to the body. But we are not this body. Realizing this is the first stage of spiritual realization. We are associated with the three modes of material nature, but we must become detached through devotional service to the Lord. If we are not attached to the devotional service to the Lord, then we cannot become detached from the modes of material nature. Designations and attachments are due to our lust and desire, our wanting to lord it over material nature. As long as we do not give up the propensity of lording it over material nature, there is no possibility of returning to kingdom of Godhead or Sanatan Dharma. That is eternal kingdom which is never destroyed. So, Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosa Adhyatma Nitta Vinivritta Kama. So that sloka says that how we have to become free from different upadhis in this world, to go to that abode. In demigod, it is not mentioned that when you want to go demigod, you have to become free from upadhi. No, you can just worship him and you can go. But when you want to go to eternal abode, you have to become free from all material upadhi, especially lording it over material nature. That is coming because of lust. Because the love, we have not awakened love for the Lord. So some kind of lust will remain in our heart. And that lust means I want to enjoy here. Lord says that even a merchant, okay, and a fallen woman, even anyone can attain the supreme. So this we know that Mami Parth Vipasitya Yepsi Pap Yunaya Striyo Vaishatha Sudra Tepi Anti Param Gati. So this shloka comes in Bhagavad Gita. So like that. So anybody can, now next question, who can attain the Lord's abode? Anybody can attain. Okay, now next thing. Now this Padam Abhyayam is the Supreme Lord's abode. How to attain, or what are the other things? Therefore, at the end of the life, transcendentalists think either of Brahma Jyoti or Paramatma or Supreme Personality of Godhead. In all cases, they enter the spiritual sky, but only the devotee who is in personal touch with the Supreme Lord enters into Vaikuntha or Golok. So, at the time of death, one can think about Brahman, one can think about Paramatma, one can think about Supreme Lord, and accordingly, their destination will be there. Okay. So in second canto it's mentioned those who are karma mukta yoga. In a karma mukta yoga means these yogis, they perform the yogic ashtanga yoga and then they don't go immediately to the highest abode of Supreme Lord. They want to enjoy this world also. So then they go to some higher planet like Maharloka, they will go and they will remain for certain time. Again they will go to Brahma Loka at last and then they will remain till the end of the life of Brahma. And with Brahma end of his life, he will also go to back home, back to Godhead, and they will also go. So that is called Karma Mukti Yoga. So they want to enjoy. So this is Karma Mukti. Now, those yogis who want to merge into the Brahman, so first, before merging into Brahman, they have to see Paramatma in their heart. It is mentioned in second canto. So they first begin with the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa they begin with. Because their heart is not purified directly, they cannot see the Lord. So first they begin with the Virat Rup. By seeing Virat Rup, they develop the devotional attitude that everything of this world is a body of Virat. So therefore I should have some devotional attitude. Because see, devotion is personal. And it's just like you are taking somebody's property. So you feel some gratefulness. Oh, you are giving me, thank you very much. So it's a personal thing. So Virat, so therefore impersonalism cannot be, impersonalist people, they cannot serve Lord because there is nothing personal and they cannot become grateful also. That's why they give up their guru also at last. Om Namo Narayana, मैं नारायण बन गया हूँ, or you also become Narayana also. So there is no gratefulness. But bhakti means it's personal. So therefore we become grateful. So then here what happens, that after worshipping Virat, our heart get purified. Then you go to the worshipping Paramatma when you see in the heart Paramatma. And after seeing Paramatma, if the person still is attached to the impersonal thing, he will give up seeing Paramatma and he will attain Brahma Mukti. But if he continues to remember Paramatma and see his form in his heart, then he will attain Paramatma Mukti. He will become Paramatma Vadi. Okay, these are two things. But for a devotee, he remembers Krishna, he serves Krishna from beginning only with his senses. It's not that yogi means just control the mind and senses and focus everything inside. Control your mind and senses, and then slowly, slowly you will see Paramatma inside. So he's not actively serving the Lord. He's just trying to control mind and senses artificially and trying to go inwards and going to see his Paramatma inside heart and attain perfection. But for devotees, from beginning only is engaged in active seva and is chanting. So this is the difference between the lives of a yogis of this path and our path. Our path or is a bhakti path, like that. But all of them have to remember one of the transcendence, either Paramatma or Brahman or Bhagwan at the time of death to attain their last destination. Okay. How can we transfer our thought from material energy to spiritual energy? So then Prabhupada says that, therefore Vedvyas has written so many Vedas, so many scriptures. Maya Mugda Jivara Nahi Swatah Krishna Gyan Jivara Kripa Kaila Krishna Ved Puran. Why this Ved Puran written? For this purpose only. So that our attention, our absorption, our thought process should be in some transcendental subject matter or some religious matters, some spiritual matters. It's like that. Otherwise, anyway, people are watching Batman's or Spider-Man or news they are watching. So if this is not there, living entity will keep himself busy or Maya will keep him busy. If he does not practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling in this existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at time of death. It means, yes, perfection is not possible if it is practiced. If it is not practiced. Perfection is not possible if it is not practiced. तो इट हैज टू बी प्रैक्टिस्ड फर्स्ट, है ना. अरे आईआईटी का एग्जाम करने के लिए कोई जाके बैठता है क्या? जस्ट बिकॉज ही जस्ट woke up from the night yesterday and then his friend told, oh, you know, IIT is a very good exam. If you give it now, you will get a very good college and then you will get good job. So now come with me and you give exam. Even though he get all the formalities of exams fulfilled, but even if he sits inside, can he pass? Not, he cannot. What is the probability for him to pass? Very, very less probability. So when it comes to the good exams or very highly promising exams, prospectus, good prospectus exams, so we prepare. And when it comes to the last means giving up material world, then somebody says just without preparation go up. It's not possible. बहुत मुश्किल होता है उसके लिए. बहुत जैसे मर्सी, जैसे आईआईटी को पास करने के लिए या कोई बड़ा एग्जाम को पास करने के लिए यू नीड अ मर्सी ऑफ सम प्रोफेसर टू टेल यू आंसर्स और लीक यू पेपर. It is similar if you want to go from here, some pure devotee has to leak the secret or he has to give some mercy, then only one can get out from here. Okay. So how is it possible? The Acharya give the following: like a married woman is attached to another man, or if a man has attachment for a woman other than his wife, then the attachment is to be considered very strong. One with such an attachment is always thinking of the loved one. The wife who is thinking of her loved one, lover is always thinking of meeting him, even while she is carrying out her household chores. In fact, she carries out her household work even more careful so her husband will not suspect her attachment. Similarly, we should always remember Supreme Lover Sri Krishna. At the same time, perform our material duties very nicely. A strong sense of love is required here. See, this was I was discussing in the beginning also. A strong sense of love is required. If we have a strong sense of love for Supreme Lord, then we can discharge our duty at the same time remember Him. But we have to develop us that sense of love. Somebody can ask, bro, I'm busy throughout my life in my work, in my family's maintenance, in my own things also. How can I remember Krishna at time of death? What is the possibility for me? This is a possibility. Prabhupada says, you have to develop some love, some sense of love, and that will push you to remember Krishna even in your engagements, in your own engagements. That time you'll remember. Or you will take out time for Krishna otherwise. Huh? Means basically, surely immediately the love will not come. So you have to take out some time. So okay, work is happening, work is okay. Then thinking, okay, can I go for Mangal Aarti? Or can I go for this festival? I want to see Krishna, or I want to serve Krishna in this way. So then taking out that time. So okay, let me finish my work. So कल ही खत्म कर लेता हूँ और आज मैं चला जाता हूँ. So planning. So this is the beginning actually. So that love, that feeling of doing something for Krishna should be there. That is very important. So this is what Prabhupada is saying. This is how we have to cultivate Krishna consciousness. If the mind is engaged in Krishna seva, then the senses are automatically engaged in the service. This is the art, and this is also secret of Bhagavad Gita, the total absorption in the thought of Krishna. This is very difficult actually. Mind, to engage mind in Krishna means we have to think about Krishna and Krishna's related seva, Krishna related some activities. Like sometimes we picturize Krishna in our mind, but how long we can do that? So then we understand that we are not immediately at that level of loving Krishna. So therefore, when we hear some lectures of Guru Maharaj, like Guru Maharaj saying something about some Krishna's pastime, immediately we just go to that place of pastime and we get absorbed. So that absorption remains for longer because lecture is going on slowly, slowly, slowly. So achirena, for long time one has to hear katha to absorb one's mind. And like that, if it happens Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, then that remembrance, it becomes registered in our mind. And when out of the time, when we are not in the lecture also, or we have to speak lecture to somebody, or some other avenues, there you will remember those things. This is the way actually. That we have to absorb ourselves someplace, and that absorption will help us to absorb our mind later also. This is a secret. Now somebody may say, there's no use of hearing lectures, there's no use of reading anything. You then only by activity doing service with the hand and senses you cannot absorb. It's not possible. Therefore Prabhupada says here we have to absorb our mind actually. Sometimes people, प्रभु जी बहुत सेवा करना. अरे सेवा तो करना है, तुम्हारा मन किधर है? मन एक बार इंद्र तृप्ति में घुसता है तो निकलता नहीं है. तो वहां से निकालने के लिए कृष्ण का सोचना जरूरी है, कृष्ण के बारे में. और कृष्ण के बारे में सोचना मतलब उनके तत्वों के बारे में सोचना पहले जरूरी है. कृष्ण तत्व अगर समझा नहीं ठीक से, वी कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड कृष्ण लीला आल्सो प्रॉपरली, एंड वी कैन नॉट एब्जॉर्ब आवरसेल्फ इन दैट. इट्स ऑल सीरीज एक्चुअली, जुड़ा हुआ है सब कुछ. कृष्ण तत्व समझ में आएगा तभी कृष्ण लीला समझ में आएगा. और कृष्ण लीला में आप घुस सकते हो बिकॉज तो आपको तत्व क्लियर है. नहीं तो आपको डाउट हो जाएगा बीच में, फिर आप वापस आ जाओगे, यू विल कम बैक. तो कृष्ण तत्व एंड कृष्ण लीला हैज टू बी अंडरस्टूड. देयरफॉर कृष्णा सेज जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेति तत्वतः. तत्वतः जानना है, तत्व समझना बहुत जरूरी है. और तत्व के लिए वी हैव टू हियर इट प्रॉपरली फ्रॉम भगवद गीता, फ्रॉम भागवतम, फ्रॉम द माउथ्स ऑफ प्योर डिवोटीज लाइक दैट. So this is not very difficult process, Prabhupada says. However, one must learn it from experienced person, from Guru. Same thing is mentioning. So this process of remembering Krishna is not difficult, but one has to take it from experienced person. ठीक है, done. And what is the conclusion here? So conclusion Prabhupada gives. The conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is transcendental literature which one should read it very carefully. गीता शास्त्रम इदम पुण्यम यह पठेत प्रयतः सुपुमान. One who properly follows the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from miseries and anxieties of life, and one's next life will be spiritual. Vishnu padam avapnoti bhaya शोकादि वर्जिता. गीता महात्म्य. तो भय शोक सब खत्म हो जाएगा, and you will achieve विष्णु पदम अवापनोति. will achieve the विष्णु पदम, अव्य पदम, विष्णु पदम. ठीक है. So this is a complete our introduction. हो गया इसका. अभी कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी को? एनी क्वेश्चन? हाँ, आशीष तिवारी प्रभु. यस.
Yes, Prabhu. So actually, we heard about multiple Gitas. So few, I remember only Ashtavakra and Uddhav Gita, but people talk about there are so many Gitas that we don't know. So how they are different from this one?
As far as I know, Ashtavakra Gita is a impersonalist actually. Impersonalism is there.
Okay.
And Uddhav Gita is given in 11th canto. Uddhav Gita. So Uddhav Gita is more higher than this Gita. More higher. It's more personal. And more intrinsic things are given by Krishna in 11th canto. But more than that also, when Krishna was leaving the world and he was sitting with Uddhava and Maitreya Muni, that was a more confidential Gita than this also. Because there Krishna is talking about his situation, why he does anything in this world. Means Krishna, like here Krishna says, okay, I come this युगे युगे है धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम्. Here he is not telling why I come properly. He is telling his external reason. But there he is telling why I am doing all these things. Like I am killing some yadus. Why? Mam samsitam, मेरी स्थिति क्या है समझो. Just understand who am I and why I am doing. So he's telling his internal thought process, his all intention. So that is more deeper. So like that. So that we'll read in Bhagavatam, but first we'll complete here. And there's no need to understand like some other Gitas. No need to understand. This Gita is sufficient. It is spoken by Acharya. Just we read na Gita Mahatmya. And in the first chapter of first sloka you will read that if you understand Gita from proper person, from devotee, then you need not to, you have become qualified in all the Vedic literature, in the sense you know the essence of the Vedas. आपको और कुछ पढ़ने का जरूरत नहीं है.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Like somebody came to me and asked Ashtavakra Gita, can you give Ashtavakra Gita? So then I said, you read this Gita. What is the problem? No, I have this Gita. I want to read Ashtavakra Gita. If you have this Gita, then why you need Ashtavakra Gita? What less is there in this Gita? Everything is told. उसके ऊपर क्या है? उसको क्या मजा करना है basically? वो like one person, he read Gita 8 times. He told, I have read Gita 8 times. He is the principal of one school. So then I told, okay, tell me what is there in the Gita. So he says, yeah, we should not chant the holy name of Lord. He said. So this was his conclusion. And then he said, I wake up early in the morning and I put water in my garden. I give some seeds to the birds. This is what Gita says. Do your work. मैं बोला अरे ना तुम्हारा एकदम दिमाग खराब है. And I had to take a lot of time to convince him about the holy name, because he was blaspheming the holy name. You are telling so many Babas are chanting, they are in the jail now. What is the use of chanting holy name? So this is the problem when we read other Gitas, or when we read Gita without guidance of devotee. Any Gita we read, Prabhupada says it's a useless actually, waste of time, because misinterpretation will be there. And we don't read even Sat Sandarbhas, sorry, not Sat, what do you call, 6 kinds of philosophies. We don't go, because they are also atheism. Only Vedanta is a pure. But other than that, Mimamsa, then Vaisashika philosophy, all these are atheistic philosophy actually. They are taking something else as a supreme, then supreme personality of Godhead. So like that. So we can understand other things. First we become strong in our own tattva. Then if something we have to understand, okay, what they are saying, and we have a that much maturity that we should not get trapped by their misinterpretation or something, so then we can try to understand those things. But if from beginning only, if we are not conversed with our own knowledge or own tattva, then we should not go to anything. First beginning years only, like it is said, for children is a mother's milk, breast mother's milk. So in the similar way for us, just read this first to complete this Bhakti Shastri, then go for Bhakti Vaibhava. Do not look for any other here and there, otherwise problem will happen. This Baba, that Baba. So we have already a great Baba, Prabhupada Baba is there. We should just listen from him. And Gurudev, so many Prabhupada disciples are there. We should listen from him actually. Okay, we'll go ahead.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
what I will do now, first we'll go to what we are going to learn in 6th chapter, because it's the first unit. So in 6th chapter, what all things are given. Okay. So the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they are called Karma Yoga section. Bhagavad Gita at glance, this is not all chapters, only 6 chapter I am telling. Then later 6 we'll discuss. So in first 6 chapter, what happens? First chapter, Arjuna observes the army and becomes overwhelmed by compassion for relatives. Then he sees that I don't have any enjoyment in getting victory. And then he's fearful of sinful reactions. He's concerned about the harmful effects of destroying families. And so he decides not to fight. There are 5 reasons for which he decides not to fight. 4 reasons are given in first chapter. 5th reason is in second chapter. Okay. So this is Arjuna. This is called setting the scene. Setting the scene. Before Gita is sung, Gita is a song of God. Before this is sung, the setting of the scene is there. है ना? कहीं गाना गाने से पहले क्या होता है? एक setting होता है ना? So like that, the setting of scene is miserable time. Person is in misery, seeing his family members about to die, and he is the cause to kill them. He is going to become nimitta. उनको मारने के लिए ये खड़ा है. So for him to just think about it, that how can I kill my grandfather, father, uncle, brother, who have given me so much love, who have given me so much affection, so much. I'm grateful for them, and I don't need kingdom at the cost of their life. I don't need, but he has to fight. That is a duty. He cannot run away. He cannot compromise. So he is in that situation. Such a terrible situation. He cannot run away from there. So this is Arjuna's first chapter is Arjuna is like Vishad Yoga. Means he is totally in miserable condition. He is lamenting, he is weeping, crying. I will not fight. Actually, he is in confusion because he does not want to give up the fight. But fighting with own relatives, that is a wrong match. So he does not want to be called as a coward or other things. Therefore, he is confused. Like you go for a big battle and we are in totally confused state. Sometimes it happens, like at least with me, sometimes many times happen. Some talk has to be given. Like, क्या बोल रहा है? Then Krishna inspires something. Then we speak. But surely I don't say I am totally in confused state. But I am just saying that it's not that that much clarity is there that we have to give a talk. But here the clarity is not there only. I have to fight or not fight. Such a big army they have accumulated. Here 7 Akshoni and there 11 Akshoni. 17 Akshoni Sena has come. Almost 40 lakh. 40 lakh Sena have already gathered. And after that the Raja says, I don't want to fight. Or I am confused whether why I have come. So all soldiers will tell, Arey, what is this? Time waste kar diya isne hamara. Like that. And Krishna is not a big, it's not a silly mistake, it's such a big mistake. So many people are there for fighting, and if Raja says I don't want to fight, It's a great thing actually. For so many days they gathered the army. So Dhritarashtra became hopeful of not losing the kingdom for his sons. But Sanjaya describes how Krishna inspires Arjuna to fight. Actually, Dhritarashtra is in also great confusion. In beginning of the sloka only, he is in great confusion. His confusions are because Krishna is on side of Pandavas and he is fighting the war in Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a pious land, it's a dharmic land. My sons may get defeated. My sons never followed any religion. I am blind from eyes and they are blind from religious principles. They never know any religious principle. कहीं follow नहीं किया जीवन में. And now when they are going to some religious place to fight, it's most probable that they will not have destiny in their favor. So he was worried actually. At the same time, another worry in the mind of Dhritarashtra that maybe my sons may get influenced by such place and they may say to the Pandavas, give up such fight. Why we are fighting? We are all brothers. Let us compromise or what we can say, distribute the property. This is another fear Dhritarashtra has. And another fear is that if my sons may compromise or may not fight, then also later Duryodhana may start crying, अरे मैंने गड़बड़ क्यों किया, दोबारा से उनको बुलाओ गैम्बलिंग खेलना. Again we have to play gambling because his nature is very fickle. So that time again problem may happen. So therefore, and also we have a Bhishma with us. So Bhishma, Arjuna can never kill Bhishma. So I have a very great hope that Bhishma is there till the time, जैसे हम होता है ना, many times people say ना, like some match is played in cricket, Indian cricket, and like Bangladesh के साथ cricket खेल रहा है, and Sachin is in full form, Sachin Tendulkar, I don't know whether he is there or not, or Virat Kohli, let us say Virat Kohli is in full form nowadays, and he has scored a good runs in previous many matches, and now Bangladesh. So then any commentator can say, what is Bangladesh? And in front of Virat Kohli, who is now in form, hitting so many sixes and runs, what is Bangladesh? So he has great hope. So when Bhishma is there on side of Duryodhana, he has great hope. What Arjuna can do? Bhishma is there. So he thought, even though my son wants to compromise, I have a great asset. Let me use him. And so fight should happen. So Dhritarashtra wanted fight should happen, but he was confused about all such situations. Like that. Okay, next. Summary of the Bhagavad Gita. So second chapter of Gita talks about summary of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Krishna wanted to finish Bhagavad Gita in second chapter only. So therefore, सब summary कर दिया. पहला चैप्टर में अर्जुन रोया, दूसरे चैप्टर में भगवान ने गीता खत्म कर दी. भगवान ने सोचा कि चलो अर्जुन गीता खत्म, चलो पैकअप करो, लड़ाई करो. बट अर्जुन का तो क्वेश्चन वहीं से चालू हो गया. भगवान ने then Lord thought, अरे I spoke Gita full, all yoga I told in second chapter and you did not learn the first yoga only. So first yoga only did not learn, Karma Yoga. Again asking question on Karma Yoga. Till fifth chapter is learning only what is Karma Yoga. So therefore, in second chapter, Krishna mentions about all the yogas briefly. Like Jnana, he speaks about the Jnana, the knowledge of body and soul, Sakam Karma, fruitive activities, doing duty and attaining enjoyment. Then Buddhi Yoga or Niskam Karma Yoga, working with detachment and knowledge. And then qualities of the Sthita Pragya. So these things he explains in the second chapter. Then what happens? As I said, Krishna wanted to push off, and then he understood that Arjuna now will start fighting, but Arjuna is still in dilemma. So then in 2.49, Krishna told Arjuna to keep all abominable activities far away by Buddhi Yoga. Don't do anything wrong, Arjuna. Don't commit any sin. But Arjuna still has not understood whether killing is sin or not. So he told Krishna, you only told I should not do anything sin in the yoga process. Now you are telling me to kill, means this is sin. And then Arjuna asks, two renunciation, means which of the two is better? Renunciation and action is better. So he asked this question in the 3.1. This is the first question of third. Means see, here Krishna told everything, but again he's asking, shall I renounce or shall I do work? Again he's asking, shall I renounce or shall I do work? Because you said that I should not do any pap, but if I work I will do pap, and if I renounce there is no pap, but you are telling me to fight. So if I fight, how can I fight without sin? Like that. So third chapter comes. Then Karma Yoga is the third chapter. Krishna prescribes action based on niskam karma rather than premature renunciation. Sannyas पहले नहीं लेना है. First we have to get rid of attachment to result. So do work without attachment to result, and then slowly what will happen? One will be qualified for Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga basically means give up the work and just be happy with the Jnana, knowledge. But this again creates a doubt for Arjuna. Even if Arjuna is qualified for renunciation, he still should do Niskam Karma Yoga. Therefore Krishna says, okay, you should still do Niskam Karma Yoga, means continue your work without attachment to result. And he says, why I should continue? Because Janak Maharaj has done. He was a king who has liberated soul, but still he was doing his duty as a king. So you should also do, even though you are sannyasi, but you still do your activity like that. So there are some examples he gives. And then lust is a formidable enemy on the path of yoga. So this is one additional thing Krishna says here. Many times this lust, it is a formidable enemy in the path of the yoga. So one has to conquer by spiritual intelligence. Then the next chapter, what is this transcendental knowledge? He explains. So now actually when you do any work, detachment from result is not very easy. We need knowledge with that. Because that knowledge, if somebody is not knowledgeable, he cannot be detached from result. Very simple. Or he cannot take renunciation. Renunciation can only be perfect when one is perfect in knowledge. When one is perfect in knowledge, then he can renounce properly. Otherwise not. So therefore, first Krishna is focusing on, okay, give up the result, give up. But how he will give up the result? First he should know about the tattva. That how everything is coming from the Lord, all the things means connection. This all connection he has to understand. So that is transcendental knowledge. So to foster renunciation from the result, he is now telling about transcendental knowledge in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Transcendental knowledge descends from the Krishna in disciplic succession. Knowing the divine nature of the Lord Krishna's appearance gives liberation. Karma can be understood on the platform of Jnana, and one can attain Jnana through Yajna and from a bona fide Guru. So in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about many sacrifices. Why? Because to attain transcendental knowledge, person has to be purified first. Yes. How can we attain knowledge? Like if somebody is to go for PhD, first you have to go for first class, second class, third class. So therefore, according to our Varnashrama, somebody is a brahmachari, somebody is a grihastha, somebody is a banprastha, and then somebody is a yogi, tapasvi, all these kind of gradations are there. So accordingly, according to their work also, there are certain yagyas are given. So by doing those yagyas, what happens? Ultimately, the goal of yagya should be to develop transcendental knowledge. Krishna says in the 4th chapter very clearly. If the goal of yagya is just to show everyone, see, I have given so much donation, acha donation diya hai, or dravya yagya, you are giving some material to somebody, doing yagya, big yagya, like these brahmanas did yagya in 10th canto, yagyik brahmanas, but they are not knowing Krishna only, and Krishna came, they did not feed Krishna. So the goal of yagya, Krishna says, is to become situated in transcendental knowledge, and so you have to go to Guru and learn these yagyas. He mentions that. Okay. In third chapter he also mentions about some demigods and some demigod worship, some karma kanda process also he mentions in 3rd chapter in karma here, because Krishna wants to bring, means here some all details are not given, I just remember I am telling. So okay, we'll discuss that later. So in 4th chapter, in a sense, transcendental knowledge that will be developed through yagya. Different yagyas are mentioned. And then Krishna spoke of attaining peace by jnana and renouncing karma by jnana. See, in 49 in 4.39 Krishna speaks about attaining peace by gyan, and Arjuna wants that only. Shanti chahiye baba. And renouncing karma by gyan. So Arjuna is looking for selective hearing. बोल दिया कृष्ण ने, देखो अभी बोलना नहीं लड़ाई लड़ने के लिए. इधर भी बोला कि Krishna spoke about renouncing karma by jnana and then attaining peace by gyan. So then Arjuna thought he's telling me to renounce work and attain peace, correct? And so therefore again he asked question in 5th chapter. Arjuna again asked about renunciation and karma. Just see 3rd chapter same cheez pucha. Renunciation is better or karma is better? Again he's asking the same thing. 5th chapter. So then Karma Yoga comes. Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So here it was in a 3rd chapter. What is the difference here? 3rd chapter basically, it talks about even some normal kind of yagya also it talks about. Means some little bit they talk about that. Yagya Purush means pleasing Lord Vishnu. He's a Yagya Purush. But that yagya he just Krishna mentions about in 3rd chapter also a little bit about that. Karma Kanda process, little bit he mentions there. Demigods and all living entities are born together, and living entity should satisfy demigods. In this human body, we should satisfy demigods to get our things. So therefore, it's so important yagya, and more elaboration of yagya is mentioned in 4th chapter. So here little mixture is there, but when it comes to this chapter, 5th chapter, is full niskam karma, whole. कुछ यज्ञ योग्य के बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया. Directly how one has to become free from reactions of work. Full detachment means here it's mentioned in this whole, the focusing on the higher aspect of knowledge, which will help us to detach from result. So Krishna says that they are both equal. Karma yoga is but easier. So jnana and yoga both are equal. Jnana and karma both are equal, but karma yoga is easier, he says Krishna. Niskam karma yoga frees one from bondage, and one can attain liberation by focusing on supreme. Ashtanga yoga and bhakti yoga gives liberation. So then at last of the 5th chapter, he just mentions some note. Ashtanga yoga and bhakti yoga will give liberation. So then next chapter उनको बताना पड़ेगा अष्टांग योग क्या होता है. Then next chapter, 6th chapter is fully Ashtanga yoga. And then Krishna also mentions the path of unsuccessful yogi, where they go, because Arjuna asks questions there. If I I have taken up to spiritual life, if I fall down in between, I will not, I have already given up my material enjoyment, come to spiritual life, इधर से भी गिर गया तो किधर जाऊंगा मैं. तो भगवान बोले कि no, don't worry. Anybody who has taken to path of spiritual life, he will go to heavenly planet even if he fall down. Next life he will go to heavenly planet, he will enjoy, again he will come back to take birth in rich family or brahmana family, so that he will continue his spiritual life. So there is no loss, like that he says. And therefore he ultimately says that bhakti yoga is the topmost yoga. Then 6.47 says that bhakti yoga is the highest, and so 7th chapter starts with bhakti yoga. So this is a whole summary of 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Now we will go to overview of 1st chapter. So in the 1st chapter of Bhagavad Gita, first shloka says about Dhritarashtra inquiring to Sanjaya. Okay? So Dhritarashtra is inquiring to Sanjaya what these both fellows did, these both team members did. क्या किया युद्ध में जाके, युद्ध के मैदान में जाके क्या किया, what both these teams they have done. So blind Dhritarashtra, partial to his sons, inquires what his sons and Pandava did on the battlefield. This is the first shloka. 2nd to 11th shloka talks about Duryodhana's fear and diplomacy in describing the armies. So Duryodhana is fearful because he has never expected that Pandavas would gather 7 Akshoni Senas. Duryodhana had 11 Akshonis, and Pandavas could gather 7 Akshoni. Almost, you can say, near to 3/4 or 3/4, like that. So how they can, because Yudhishthira was not a king also that time, and still just because of sympathy for him, so many people came to fight in his side. Very great actually. So then Duryodhana was having fear, and he goes to Dronacharya, he goes to Bhishma, and he then talks about some more people. Means just telling. See, I'm counting. So in first this sloka 2 to 11, basically, he's counting all the big people of Pandava's army and telling to Dronacharya. And also he's counting his people also. You see, I also have very great people. So they are also very great, we are also very great. At last he says that I have Bhishma. So therefore Bhishma is such a great person, nobody fits in front of him. And he compares Bhishma and Bhima both. Bhima is nothing in front of him. He says. So therefore our victory is sure. Like that he says. And then what happens? then then see, Duryodhana is a diplomatic person. So if you glorify too much about Bhishma, then Dronacharya में से क्या मैं यहाँ पे गोटी खेलने आया हूँ क्या? So then he can say, then he said, no. Bhishma is an old person. Sometimes he become engaged in fighting with other people. So you also should help him, be around him, so that he should not feel alone. So he, like that, he diplomatically manages everything. Then आफ्टर हियरिंग ऑल दिस थिंग भीष्मा ने सोचा कि चल अच्छा है बेटा, आज आपके लिए तेरे शंख बजा देते हैं. यू आर एनकरेजिंग अस वेरी मच, वी विल एनकरेज यू नाउ. सो देन भीष्मा टेक्स द शंख एंड ब्लोज इट. दैट इज कम्स हियर इन 12 to 19. सो हियर ऑल द शंख ब्लोइंग स्टार्ट चालू हो जाता है यहाँ से सबका. सो द ब्लोइंग ऑफ द कॉन्सेल, द साइन ऑफ विक्ट्री फॉर. सो नाउ व्हेन भीष्मा इज ब्लोइंग, इट्स मेंशन ही इज ब्लोइंग लाइक एन लायन. लायन इज रोरिंग. ऐसे जैसे लायन दहाड़ता है वैसे भीष्म का शंख दहाड़ रहा था. बट नथिंग हैपेंड. नो रिएक्शंस आर मेंशन इन भगवद गीता दैट समबडी बिकेम फ्राइटेंड. नो. बट आचार्य सेज दैट शंख वाज ब्लोन टू से दैट दुर्योधना, I will lay down my life for you, but I don't assure you victory, because victory is in the hand of Madhava, Krishna. That is in his hand. I will only help you. I will do my duty. So he's not fighting with the heart actually. Out of duty, he's trying to do something. He mentions that. Okay. Then Lord Krishna and Pandava, they also blew their conch shell. So it is mentioned when they blew their conch shell, it was considered, or it's mentioned as Divya Sankha. And that shattered the heart of opposite party. So that Prabhupada says it shows the confidence of devotees in Krishna. So when devotees, they are surrendered to Krishna, their efforts can shatter the hearts of opponent people. And so their victory was fixed. They will be victorious. Then 20 to 27, Arjuna observes the army. Arjuna says to Krishna, please take me in between so that I can oversee कौन कौन आया है लड़ाई करने के लिए. So then Krishna, he says, I know what is your mind. Okay, let me first take you there. So then Krishna takes him there, and then smilingly he says, just see now Arjuna, whom you have to fight. So Krishna knows that he is going to now weep. अभी रोने वाला है. अभी तो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस से बोला दिखाओ मेरे को कौन कौन है सामने. अभी रोएगा ये. Krishna knows the mind of Arjuna. So 20 to 25, desiring to see the supporters of Duryodhana, Arjuna asks Krishna. 26 to 27, seeing different kinds of relatives, Arjuna becomes overwhelmed with compassion. So here is things starts. Then these slokas, Arjuna's reason not to fight. From here he decides अभी लड़ाई नहीं लड़ना है. यहाँ पे कॉन्फिडेंस दिख रहा है, यहाँ पे एकदम डिस्करेजमेंट हो रहा है. So first reason he says 28 to 30 shloka, compassion for relatives, and therefore he is showing some bodily symptoms. So first reason is I cannot fight because these are my relatives. कैसे लड़ाई करूंगा मैं इनसे? Compassion, false compassion for their bodies. Second, foreseeing no enjoyment in the victory, 31 to 35. Because generally Prabhupada says also, somebody becomes victorious, then he shares his victory with his family members. आज मैंने इसको हराया, मैंने उसको हराया. Now in Arjuna's case, his opponents are his own family members. So whom he would share with? So there is no enjoyment. I will enjoy with whom? The third reason, fear of sinful reaction. The sins will overcome me. Why I should kill them? Fourth reason, harmful effects of destroying the family. So Kulakshaya Panashakti, Kuladharma Sanatana, like that. So Kula Dharma will be destroyed. Kulakshaya, Kul will be Shaya. So why one should be? Okay, then the yes. So then the last reason will come to next chapter. Arjuna, being grief stricken, decides not to fight. Like that. So these four reasons are given here. Okay, any question? Yes, Mataji बोलिए.
प्रभु जी, जो भगवत गीता बोल रहे थे कृष्णा अर्जुन को, तो वहां पे सारे जो लोग थे वो सुन पा रहे थे क्या? दिस इज द डाउट.
Yes, Prabhupada has said actually. Krishna spoke Gita and everyone heard. Yes, Prabhupada has said. Everyone has
सो
heard.
इस तो फिर उनमें कोई असर नहीं हुआ, मतलब बिकॉज गीता इज सो डिटेल्ड एंड.
See, actually, these people, Krishna might have spoken many times so many good sermons to Duryodhana. Duryodhana was hell bent upon fighting. Actually, in ahead of here purports, Prabhupada writes actually, and even it's said by Sanjaya in Bhagavad Gita, कि actually Dhritarashtra is the cause of all such fight. Because if a big leader who has to tell his sons and people that you should not try to kill your own brothers, you should try to do some compromise, give them the 5 villages. What is the problem? If Dhritarashtra is not able to convince even that much to his son, that is his fault actually. It's not a big question for this fight to be stopped. 5 villages तो मांगा है ना, दे दो ना उनको. Surely there is a Krishna also involved. So Krishna has some tricky way. He wants to kill these people. So Krishna is not allowing them to satisfy. That we have to understand that also. But he's Pandavas are not aspiring for a big kingdom. Just जीने के लिए थोड़ा जमीन दे दो, का kingdom दे दो. We will live peacefully. So they are not giving actually. So therefore, just logics also, it is quite understandable. इतना बड़ा राज्य है, पूरा विश्व है, आप उनको भेज दो, go to America, go and start ruling there. He can send them there also, कहीं भी भेजो जाके. But नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. So Duryodhana was hell bent that no, I will defeat them, I will fight with them, I will kill them, and I will finish off all their aspirations and all such possibilities for me to give them some share of land. No, I will not give at all. So see,
Ji, I have this also doubt that Krishna showed his Vishwaroop to Arjuna, so they all saw that.
yes,
They all saw that. Still
also
they thought. Okay.
yes, in Santi Dut when Krishna was there, Krishna showed that Rupa to Duryodhana and others. But then Duryodhana thought that he is a Mayavi. So he did not take him as a supreme personality of Godhead. So yes, even after hearing Bhagavad Gita, one would not change if he is Grahavratanam Adant Govir Visitam Tamishram Punah Punah Charvita Charvananam. If somebody is hell bent that I will enjoy material life the way I have designed my plan, so Gita will also not help. So it's like that actually. See, many members in the war, they were fighting because it was a main Duryodhana problem and Dhritarashtra problem. Not because they really had some enmity with Pandavas. Pandavas are very good people actually. They never wanted to fight with anyone. So this fight was just done because of this Duryodhana and party actually. It's like that. Okay, we'll go ahead. So now we are beginning Bhagavad Gita. So I have a text here which has Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary as well as Baldev Vidyabhushan together mixed and Prabhupada commentary. All three commentary will go through. So what I will do, I will read the shloka and one of you would read 5 shloka, then next devotee will read 5 shloka. Means translation, okay? And if I say purport, then you can read purport also. So okay, who will read now first 5? Okay, Priya Gaurangi Devdasi Mataji. Okay, you will read. ठीक है, first 5. धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत् संजय. This is the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita where Dhritarashtra is asking. Yes, go ahead.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Hmm.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, what
नहीं
did
नहीं
my
नहीं,
sons...
नहीं, एक मिनट ये जो है ना, ये जो दो हमेशा याद रखना, ये जो नेक्स्ट जो टू, दिस इज पीसीटी, सॉरी, यस, विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर ट्रांसलेशन, एंड दिस इज Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. So it will be, so never read these two, and then this is a purport of Srila Prabhupada. So there's some mixture like that. Only we have to read the red one and the later purport. So this is a purport Prabhupada writes here from here. So I'm
Sure.
highlighting some important part.
So
Okay.
shall I continue to purport, Prabhuji?
You can read. Okay, you can read from here. Bhagavad Gita till here. World.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of the Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of the disciplic succession without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world.
Okay. So this highlighted portion, it is saying that importance of understanding Gita from a devotee. So I have taken some examples also, like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to read Srimad Bhagavatam with Gadadhar Pandit. So he used to read with devotee, and again he inquired from Ramananda Rai the intricacies of bhakti. Ramananda Samvad, all the way we here in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So even Sarup Damodar, he says to one Brahmana when he had brought some written text, he written some commentary, some things for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he has hodgepodge. He did not know the right understanding about the Lord. So then he chastised him, and out of compassion he said, Bhagavat padagiya Bhagavat sthane. You should go and read the Bhagavat with Bhagavata. So first you understand Bhagavata, what is Bhagavata through Bhagavat devotee. So this is a very general way to understand in our Gaudiya Vaishnava that we have to hear from devotees to learn anything. So devotees, because they have heard from Guru, and so they explain to other devotees. Srila Prabhupada also wanted, he said his senior disciples that you should all become senior god brothers to your junior ones, and you should make them understand what I have taught you. So like that. So then Bhagavad Gita, many times even if you read personally na, we have also tried, we did not understand. Not अभी अभी भी नहीं समझ में आता, वो ठीक है, we have to keep on hearing, but I am saying that we have to keep on hearing, and you have to hear from devotee. When you hear from Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj and devotees, so then we will start understanding actually Bhagavad Gita. Simply by reading na, it does not happen. And but how to read also Srila Prabhupada mentions scrutinizingly. Scrutinizingly means from different angles we have to see what it is saying, this shloka kya bol rahe, why this shloka is there, who all persons are addressed here. So like that, different angles we have to read. Therefore, like Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he writes reflections on different slokas of Bhagavad Gita. So he's seeing the Gita shloka from different angles. That is also important, because Srila Prabhupada, if you have gone through many preachings and conversation of Srila Prabhupada, most of the time he used to quote Gita slokas only. So he could resolve so many issues of the world through Gita. So it's so much potent book. And then Prabhupada says, if someone gets such understanding through devotees and is fortunate, so then without he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Gita in the line of disciplic succession without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all Vedic wisdom. Just see. So that's why I was mentioning कि अष्टवक्र गीता की जरूरत नहीं है. बस इसी को डिसाइपलिक सक्सेशन में अगर आपने सुन लिया, सो आपका कर्तव्य, आपका परफेक्शन काफ़ी है. मीन्स यू गॉट द इसेंस ऑफ द ट्रूथ. इसेंस आपको मिल चुका है, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट अगेन हियरिंग मोर एंड रीडिंग मोर एंड अंडरस्टैंड द डिटेल्स, बट यू हैव गॉट द इसेंस प्रॉपरली. You will find in Bhagavad Gita that all that is contained in other scriptures. इधर भी बता दिया same thing. And you will also find which are not found in elsewhere. So Gita has both combination. It contains many things from other scriptures and many things from unique Krishna has given here, nowhere found. Yes, the topic of the, and this Bhagavad Gita is a theistic science. It is mentioned somewhere. It's a theistic science. ये साइंस है कौन सा है? थियस्टिक मीन्स आस्तिक. भगवान में जैसे when we read in our science water cycle, how rains happen, water cycle. But when you read in Gita, how rains happen, annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhava. Means Krishna says by yagya what happens? Rains happen, and yagya means pleasing God. So then it is a theistic science. So you are getting rain by pleasing God. And in our science what they say, you grow many trees, and so rains will come. Just see the difference between both. So like that. So that is atheistic science, not keeping God as absolute truth or cause of all causes. They think cause of all causes is matter and natural laws. That's why the other six philosophies, they are also telling the same thing, कि cause of all causes is something else than absolute truth. But Gita clearly says cause of all causes is absolute truth. Everything coming from him. He is a Yagya Purusha. You have to surrender to him. So that's why it's a theistic science. Astics, Vigyan. Okay. It is the topic discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay described in the Mahabharata from the basic principle of great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved from on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this same thing is given in Mahabharata. This is same Bhagavad Gita. Okay, done. Now Dharma Kshetre. The word used Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Dharma Kshetre is a religious land, and that is used for Kurukshetre. कुरुक्षेत्र को धर्म क्षेत्र बोला गया है. देव यजनम. Kurukshetra was a very, or today also, is a very pious land where devatas are worshipped, or devata also come to worship the Supreme Lord. So this is very pious land, Kurukshetra. Samaveta, Yutsavaha. The people gathered there, assembled. Yutsava means desiring to fight. And then he clearly making distinction between his sons and Pandu's sons. Mamakaha, mere bete, and Pandava, Pandu ke bete. Both of them, what they did when they came for desiring, with a desire for fight, they came to Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra. What did they do? He's asking to Sanjay. So here Srila Prabhupada talks about the mindset of Dhritarashtra. First, highly doubtful. Dhritarashtra, the father of Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of son's ultimate victory. So he was doubtful because Krishna was there. So why he was doubtful? Because Krishna was there, so he was doubtful. Because Krishna is such a powerful personality. If he is there on side of Pandavas, how can these people win? This was the first doubt. Second thing, Dhritarashtra, he did not wanted to compromise between cousin brothers, and he wanted that the fate should be clear. जो भी हो क्लियर होना चाहिए. अभी कोई इसमें शांति दूत की जरूरत नहीं, अभी कुछ मेल मिलाप नहीं. No मेल मिलाप. Final decision should be taken by fight only. Even though he was fearful and doubtful about the victory, but he wanted fight to happen. Who? Dhritarashtra wanted. Third thing, Dhritarashtra became fearful about the influence of the holy place. So one is doubtful because of Krishna's presence, other is fearful because of it is a holy place. And so because Pandavas may get favor from this holy place, today also people say ना अच्छे अच्छे दिन पे हम कार्य करेंगे so that वो कार्य successful हो जाए. So the fight was fought on the right place where dharma, place of dharma. So sure enough, those who are follower of dharma, they would win. And so it was fear for Dhritarashtra. Another thing, it is Prabhupada says here, like this whole war is taken as like a agriculture field. So in agriculture field, there is a crop and there is a weed. So crop and weed both simultaneously grow. So then a farmer has to take away the weeds so that the crop will grow properly. So in this dharma kshetra where the dharma has to grow, because Krishna is there as the father, so therefore the Krishna will remove the weeds. And who is the weeds? Kaurava. So Kauravas are not allowing Pandavas kingdom to spread or Pandavas rule to spread, so I will remove the weed only. So it is expected because dharma father, the farmer is there, the dharma father of dharma, Krishna is already there, and so he will remove the weed, all these Dhritarashtra's son. So this is what Prabhupada says here. And so this is the meaning of Dharma Kshetra and Kurukshetra. What is the meaning? One meaning is a historical and Vedic importance, means Kurukshetra. We'll read more about that. Means it's a pious land worshipped by the demigods. Another meaning is this is a land where all these Pandavas like weeds will be taken away. Finished. Operation was destined. Kauravas will be killed, and Kauravas would be killed also became destined. So by bringing these people to Kurukshetra, Krishna made their destiny ascertained कि अब ये मरने वाले हैं और मैं इनको मारूंगा. So this is another meaning of Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. Okay, now this is from here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, so I have also highlighted. So Kurukshetram Deva Yajnam, Kurukshetra ko Deva Yajnam is a place of worshipping the Lord. Kurukshetra is Deva Yajnam. Again, other acharyas also saying the same thing, the fearful of the effect of Kurukshetra. Who? Dhritarashtra was fearful of effect of the Kurukshetra. And also, he was desirous and hopeful for victory because he has a Bhishma on his side. Dhritarashtra wanted that fight should happen. कोई बिना fight के जाना नहीं चाहिए. Fearful but desirous for war and kingdom. And then doubtful because Krishna was there. So same thing Srila Prabhupada mentioned. So Prabhupada has mentioned from acharyas only. More or less things are same. Chalo, next. Sanjaya uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasamagamya raja vachanam abravit.
Shall I read the translation, Prabhuji?
Translation, yes.
Okay. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
Here tension starts now. First shloka, Dhritarashtra has a tension. What my sons and what the Pandu sons are doing or what they have done. Tell me. Sanjay is telling Raja, daro mat. Basically he is saying Raja word is there mentioned for the Duryodhana, but he says ki now everything is in flow. Duryodhana is in fearful condition and he had taken up charge of administration of the war. Don't worry about it. War is going to happen. There is no compromise. Don't worry about that. So he removes his fear. But the Duryodhana has become fearful. Why? By seeing such a big army of Pandavas. He has become fearful here in second shloka. So then, even though he is a Raja, he has to now go to Dronacharya. So Prabhupada says because of emergency situation. इतना बड़ा आर्मी लेके आगे पांडव लोग. So therefore he wants to go and inform. Okay. So Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and so he was sure that they could never reach the understanding with the Pandavas, and still he was doubtful of the influence of place of religion. So no compromise for sure, but Kurukshetra place may do some change of mind. So he knew that my sons will never compromise with Pandavas, but this place is little risky. He was thinking. That is what Prabhupada is writing. So that can change the mind of my children or sons. Second thing, Sanjay wanted to encourage and the despondent king कि do not worry, कोई compromise नहीं होने वाला है, लड़ाई चालू हो चुका है. King has started his war administration, चालू हो गया है. And the last, Duryodhana diplomatic manner. So Duryodhana does not wanted to, he did not wanted to show his fear to Dronacharya. So he just hid the fear inside and then went to meet Dronacharya. But he is fearful by seeing the arrangement of Pandavas. And the Raja word, why the Raja word is used, Acharya says here down, not because he was Raja, Duryodhana was not Raja right now, but he having the Rajniti. He had the tactics बोलते हैं, tactics of playing the diplomacy. He knew how to play diplomacy. That's why he's called Raja. So he is having Rajniti. He knows how to apply diplomacies. So here what use, he knows Rajniti, therefore he is a Raja. Like that is said. Raja Duryodhan. पश्यतां पाण्डुपुत्राणां महतीम् आचार्य महतीं च मूं व्यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येन धीमता. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, the translation, right? Oh my.
Yes.
Oh my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad.
This is the sloka where there are some fears are also shown, as well as some anger to be awakened in the heart of Dronacharya, because this is some sarcastic remark also. He's saying, just see what intelligent disciple of yours Drishtadumna has done. He has learned from you only, and he knew that he would kill you, because Drishtadumna was born for the purpose to kill Dronacharya. We know the story of Drupada and Dronacharya. They are having a great fight. So at last, after Dronacharya, when he trained Pandavas and Kauravas, and Arjuna defeated Drupada and brought him to just put him into the shelter of Dronacharya. Dronacharya said, now, last time you said that because we are not equal, you cannot help me, you cannot give me kingdom. Now I have defeated you, I will give you half the kingdom. Now you take your half kingdom and half kingdom I have. So then Drupada became very humiliated. So then he took vow that I will kill him. So then he did yagya and he got Drishtadumna through yagya. So Drishtadumna, Draupadi, they are all brothers. And Sikhandi is also there. So then Sikhandi is Amba, previous life Amba. She was Kasi Raj daughter. So Bhishma, he took away Amba, Ambika, Ambalika for marriage. He brought all the three. Then at last this Amba was not married. So then she vowed that I will kill you. And she performed tapasya. And then by tapasya she got benediction that okay, next life you can kill Bhishma. So she took birth as a Sikhandi. And now Sikhandi is fighting with Pandava, means fighting from the side of Pandavas against Kauravas to kill Bhishma. And now Drishtadumna, Draupadi's brother, now he is destined, means according to Vardhan, he destined to kill Dronacharya. He will kill Dronacharya later. But Dronacharya knew that he will kill me, but still he taught him all the military secrets. Why? Because he was a liberal Brahmana. My dharma is to teach. I don't worry about what destiny says. So he taught him everything. And that's why Duryodhana knew that you gave all such knowledge, all military secret. Now do not become lenient. That time you became lenient, now do not become. And then he's showing him, just see your intelligent disciple what he has done. तो थोड़ा sarcastic लगता है ना कि तुम तो बुद्धू हो, तुमने क्या पढ़ाया? Why did you teach all these things? He has brought such a big army. So there is sarcastic and diplomatic words he is using. Duryodhana. So Duryodhana pointed out the mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against Pandavas, because Dronacharya had some affection for Arjuna. He was the best student. So then you became lenient in front of this person, Dishtadumna. Don't become lenient for Arjuna. So he's making the things clear. So yes. So we'll do the 5 slokas, then we'll end. Arousing anger also in Dronacharya. So what was how he wanted to arouse anger? Thinking that Drona would not fight against Yudhishthir and his brothers because of great affection, in order to produce some anger in Drona, he revealed the Pandava disrespect for Drona. The army has approached very close with arrogance, not considering your exalted position as a warrior and teacher, seeing that you should recognize their disrespect. Duryodhana is saying, so much big army has brought, not respecting you, it's a disrespect for you. So he's arousing anger in Dronacharya. So acharyas are revealing different small details, how the emotions are playing role here. What are the emotions in the mind or mindset of Duryodhana, and what kind of emotions are coming out. So one thing is arousing anger, other thing is speaking diplomatic and sarcastic words, and making him strong, not become lenient next time. And another thing is also little bit humiliation, that what you have taught, you should not have taught. This is not intelligence, to teach our enemy the secrets. अत्र शूरा महेश्वास भीमार्जुन समायुधि युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथ. Okay, I think we should end here. Tomorrow we can complete from henceforth. कोई question है anyone? So you can make notes. I may also send these notes later. So you can make notes in your notebook. So what we are discussing, so that in future whenever you read Gita or teach Gita, it will be helpful for you to directly refer and do that. ठीक है, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है? हरे कृष्णा.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय. Will end here. हरे कृष्णा.